Have we been live the entire time?
I think so.
Yeah, but all right, that was the only technical difficulty. It wasn't pushed in all the way.
Oh, good. Story of our lives.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? This is Coaching Over Coffee. I am Coach Dan, and from left to right, we've got Coach Ryan, Coach Eden, and
Introducing.
And in his debutante appearance here, introducing, drumroll please.
You don't beat your own drum.
No, Eden
I did the same
you
thing,
set the
so.
precedent for that one. Coach Clark, everybody, first time on the podcast.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Clark.
Of course.
So today's topics, we're going to just go around the room. We're going to shoot some random questions out. They could be thought-provoking. They could be, how many chickens does it take down an elephant? Maybe that could be a random question. So I want to go and let's start with Eden first. Your first question.
let me pull my
Now
questions
let's
up.
preface this. She's been stressing about this.
I don't know if I would use the word stressing.
What word would you use?
Overthinking.
Okay, good. Typical woman.
But let's start with, you know what? I'm going to start with the question, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given from someone?
So Dan, go ahead.
That's a tough one right away. Don't pet the sweaty stuff and don't sweat the petty stuff.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
How about you, Clark?
I would say take a breath. Because nothing is, a little closer. Nothing is permanent. And it's one of those things where I feel like you can kind of overthink or overanalyze things, looking into the future, looking into the past. But if you're taking a breath, that's all you're doing right now.
Yeah. Be present.
Being present.
What about you? Because it's your own question, so you got to answer.
Yeah, I was laying in bed thinking last night a lot about it. And since it's the holiday season, I wouldn't say this is the best piece of advice, but don't believe, you don't receive. But I like to think of it as like, if you don't believe in yourself, then how are you going to receive the things that you want? So you got to like think about the positive things and your life will turn to positive.
Yeah, law of attraction.
But it's also Santa Claus, don't believe, don't receive.
I didn't know that about Kris Kringle. I didn't know that was his mantra.
Yeah.
Mine was the best and the worst, and it was be realistic. So when someone said like, hey, you'll never be able to do this, be realistic, that was probably the best because I think it motivated me the most.
To make it realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also the worst because realistic people don't achieve like
Great
the big things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one.
How about you, Clark? We're going to go down the row.
Cool.
You got your next question.
That's a good segue. I think my question is, what made you want to do what we're doing? Like, kind of what sparked your interest into going into this field, and also what made you want to stick with it?
Okay, Dan, you go first.
I think it was a culmination of everything post-COVID. Like I didn't realize how much I missed this place until it was gone and I couldn't be here and with everybody. And then once I started back, it was like a whole different thing. And I found myself like enjoying helping others in classes. And it was just a actual quick progression from that all the way to asking Ryan to work with him. So a lot of people said it was a long time coming, but then I never saw it until it was right there. So,
Garden of Eden.
Well, I grew up like around fitness and sports like that, and I saw how much it changed my life and how it helped me. So I felt like when I decided to figure out something I wanted to do, I knew that I wanted to help people, and why not do it with something I love? So kind of just put the two together and ended up here.
Nice.
Mine's more long-winded. I think being an athlete in high school and college, I think that kind of was like, hey, I like to work out. And then I think it was going to start for me more as like a hobby. And I didn't know it was going to be like a career thing. So when I lived in New York, it was like, hey, go to school for this stuff. It became this like full-time thing. But I think at first it became like this job. And then I think when I turned it into a business, it became more of a profession, but also something that I don't look at as work every single day. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. It's like
Very much.
probably one of the first things that you do that you're not like, oh, I gotta go to work today. No, I think like therapeutically, we do things because we enjoy to help people. But again, it's not like digging ditches or doing construction or the hard tasks that some people have to do. Mm-hmm. And then I flip that back to you. Why do you Why do you enjoy it? Because I know you and I had that conversation yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I really just enjoy helping people find their best physical form, I guess. You know, the best version of themselves. And I couldn't do that behind a desk. You know, I was behind a desk I went to school to be behind a desk. I was behind a desk. And it's just one of those things where I started kind of slowly training people on the side, getting certified in different areas within fitness. And once I, you know, put this operation, you know, as my first priority, I just fell in love with it. And I can't, like you just said, I can't imagine, you know, calling this work, because I don't feel like I'm coming to work. I feel like I'm coming to help and do like almost like a vocational thing rather than occupational.
Share with everybody your background. So you went to school
So I got my MBA in public accounting. And so that was a 5-year program, 4 for the bachelor's, 1 for the master's. And then I basically just dipped my toe in every realm of accounting, because I kept telling myself, oh, this job sucks because this is just a facet of accounting that I dislike. So I would go into another area of accounting, and it was just the same thing over and over, where I just realized I'm just not into this.
Yeah.
It's not the job. It's not the people. It's me. You know, at some point you got to take responsibility for what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And so I slowly started getting certified in different things, and I fell in love with those practices and that.
Label those things. What things are you certified in?
I'm a certified breathwork facilitator, certified personal trainer. I got my spin certification, and I have a yin yoga certification.
So my man's got a lot of
Jack of
tools
all
in his
trades.
A lot of
toolbox.
reading. I figured the more certifications I got, the more, you know, marketable I could be to places. That was when I first started, and I figured it's easy to get certifications when I'm working a full-time job. You know, I just kind of study on the side and slowly accumulate them. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Love it. Dan, you're up.
Well, it's ironic you said a lot of reading, because one of my questions was, what is the most recent books that you have either read or listened to that you started to pull stuff from?
Eden, go ahead.
So actually, the book that I'm in the process of reading right now, I kind of have been for like a month or so, because it's called The Mountain Is You. It's a self-help book about self-sabotage. And I feel like it's been kind of hard to get through because I'm relating to a lot of it. So I'm taking it step by step, day by day, but it talks a lot about like self-sabotage, like how the way you think is going to affect the way you do things and different things like that. So right now, that's the one I would say I'm relating most to, and it's definitely been a challenge to get through, because when you're reading it and you're like, oh no, that I relate to that. So it makes you think a lot, but I would say The Mountain Is You is a really good one that when I get through it, I'll let you guys know what I think.
Give us
It's a work in progress.
Okay.
So completed, I completed the 4 agreements. That was the last book I completed. Now I'm working on Think Like a Monk. I think that's a really cool book.
Yeah, right?
I find myself doing a lot of monkey thinking and not monk thinking.
Yeah.
And they describe that in the book. The monk is more of like the virtuous style of thinking, and the monkey is the erratic, crazy
Like
style
us.
of thinking. Like us, we're monkeys. But I thought the 4 agreements was extremely eye-opening. Because I realized that one of the 4 agreements is don't take things personally. And I realized I was taking everything personally. And when I stopped doing that, almost like flipping a switch, I kind of stopped taking things personally. And it definitely changed my life for the better. So I think I would throw that one out there. What about you, right?
I'm in the midst of 2 different books. Well, one is a business book, and it's about like lead generation and how to build your business. So it's by Alex Hormozy. And the other one, my therapist, I had to look up the name of it. Really tough one. It's called Taming Your Inner Child. So about how like your inner child plays a role with how you think, act, how you react to things based on trauma, based on life experience. So yeah, that one's a tough one for me to get through too, because I'm like, I did that. This is why I think that way. This is why I'm
It's not a realization.
effed up in the head. Yeah. Dan?
So I'm bouncing between an oldie and a new one. The old one is Mask of Masculinity.
Great book.
Lewis Howe. Honestly, I can't talk about it enough. It's not just a men's book, but also, like women, if you want to understand your man, this actually helps. Or if you try
And he does give advice to be like,
Yes.
hey, if your dude It wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't have some sort of technical difficulties.
Some ghosts.
Jesus Christmas.
Back to mask and masculinity. Like it delves deep into some of the stuff that, like you said, like guys don't always talk about their feelings, so it's kind of, and the mask we wear. And Be Useful by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
You know, he talks about like serving others, which if you think about it, you know, in his later parts of his career, that's what he ended up doing. Like he ended up being governor of California, and just him giving advice. And you have to think like the dude is 75 years old and has lived one unbelievable existence. So it's a pretty powerful book. Plus he reads it himself. And I'm big on autobiographies being read by the author.
My question: if you guys were a dessert, what would you be, and why?
Cheesecake.
Why? That was really
Oh,
quick.
actually, ooh.
No, that was your first
Okay,
one.
cheesecake. Yeah.
Why?
Because it's got like a hard graham cracker outside, but it's soft on the inside, and I feel like I portray like not hard, like I'm not like a hard personality, but I kind of have like a wall up that it's like first I'm kind of like shy and I don't really speak, but then when you get to the inside, like the soft part, like it's good.
Yeah. Okay. That was really quick. I love it, Clark.
I was going to say cheesecake, but then only because I like cheesecake. I didn't.
Okay.
I'm not trying to identify with a. Or, I didn't think to identify with a dessert. I guess maybe ice cream, vanilla bean.
Okay.
Again,
Why?
Because I like it. I really like vanilla bean ice cream.
I didn't ask what.
Yeah, I know.
What desserts that you guys like.
I know.
asked
Well,
would
that's what came to my head. You know, I'm trying to think. I'll make a vanilla bean work. So I'm hard on the outside, but I'm not that creamy on the inside. I don't know.
Okay.
I have little specks of vanilla in me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my answer.
All right. Dan.
I identify as a brownie, you know.
That's also your favorite,
Which
too.
is also
so-
my favorite. But the reason I identify with it is because even like it's not there. Even on your worst, like I'm talking roadside gas station, their brownies are still pretty good. So like even on my worst day, I'm still pretty good. I mean, it could be always worse, but you're nothing, fresh out the oven too. What about you?
I wasn't gonna go with anything that I like. I always just like joked that I'm the rainbow sprinkles, that I can go on anything. I don't give a shit where you put me. I'm always gonna be the constant, and it could be like rainbow colored because I feel like I bring a little bit of energy and I'm a little bit of fun. But then like I said, I could be malleable to whatever you put me on. I can be on a vanilla bean. I can be on a brownie. If you want to throw me on cheesecake, I'll make your day.
I think I've seen that before too.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah,
let's go.
why'd you look at me like that? You're like,
Well, she's grabbing her
I'm
phone,
like-
looking at her questions real quick.
Yeah, I got a few that I want to.
okay.
Let's go.
I just don't know which one I want to ask first. Okay. What makes you feel most inspired / motivated?
That was mine.
Okay,
Sorry.
so we got both yours now. Go ahead.
I got more.
Who's going first?
You.
So assertive. Selfishly, I like to be selfless, and I think that motivates me the most is when I struggle to just accept the accomplishment and not always search for more. So if I do something, I will always look back at it and be like, why can't it be more? So like, why can't it be 32,000 square feet next? Why can't it be, 50 families for Thanksgiving or the holidays? I always have that thing in my brain. So I think that internal conflict motivates me and inspires me. I'm not externally motivated by much. So I don't need someone to be like, hey, you need to do this. That doesn't really work for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm definitely also intrinsically motivated. It used to be about physique, like get up, if you're talking about the gym, like getting up and wanting to lose this amount of body fat or, and then Vanity, yeah. You used to kind of be like, I want to be bigger was always the biggest thing. Like, oh, I'm going to lift this crazy weight because that makes me bigger. And it's just very vague kind of goals. And now it's more still kind of vague, but I just want to feel good.
Yeah.
So basically, I know that like the lifestyle that I have now makes me feel good. And I know that if I stop that lifestyle that I have now, I'm not going to feel good. It's pretty cut and dry like that.
Sure.
So just movement every day, getting up and just being able to wake up at 6 a.m. I feel great waking up at 6 a.m., coming here and doing this, working out later, training people. That's all of that motivates me to continue to feel good.
Yeah, cool.
I'm strangely motivated by the next adventure, and I'm motivated by seeing people go on their next adventure, so to speak. Like, I don't think we're meant as people to be stagnant. And I think when you are stagnant, your brain just can't handle it. Like, I don't think it's healthy mentally for people to sit around for 12 hours and binge, shows and whatnot and watch these, adventures or reality shows about these extravagant things. Once I go out and try and live them, go out and do them. I'm not telling everyone to go run a marathon or bike 50 miles or do a triathlon or anything like that. But it's like, find the next big thing for you. And it doesn't even have to be a huge thing. And for me, that's what I do. Is it's always, what's the next thing that I can do? And just everything that I surround myself with helps me obtain those goals.
Nice.
Garden of Eden.
Okay, so for a long time, I felt like I was externally motivated by the people around me. I was kind of like looking for their approval and appraisal from everyone, and that's kind of like what kept me going. Now I feel like I'm kind of switching those gears because it's not that I don't care what people think of me, but I care more of what I think of myself, and I'm going to do things for me. So I feel like now I'm becoming more intrinsically motivated, and I see a big difference when I feel like I'm more proud of myself now and being able to accomplish more things.
No, that's just you hitting the table. And
sorry.
the mic. It's okay.
Sorry, table.
When did that switch?
I would say when my mindset started to switch, like
Which
within
was
this
what?
year, probably
Okay.
like a few months ago, when I started reading more books about mindset, when I started surrounding myself with people who were like-minded. So I feel like probably
Why do you
within the
think it
last 6
takes?
months.
Why do you think it takes that long? Why do you think we can go through those shifts, but how come we're not taught that at younger ages? Or how come we're not taught that in school? How come one of your books was never one of those books that you're reading now? How come it's like the Canterbury Tales? I just think about the
New
most
York
random
State.
book. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, how come we're not taught that stuff? That's my biggest
I feel like
issue.
because a lot of people aren't educated on that stuff, so they.
Why?
That's a great question. I
Well,
wish they
that's
were.
That's not on my list, but that's what pisses me off. I think
Yeah.
is that we're given such a parameter of information that most of it, in my opinion, is useless. I don't give a shit about the War of 1812. It's history. Sure, we can talk about it, but again, I don't have to spend weeks on end learning about it. I would rather learn about, hey, how to deal with mental health, how to be more confident, how to inspire and motivate others. I would rather learn that kind of stuff in the books that I've been taught rather than think about the impact of the book, like Think Like a Monk. Imagine if everybody could read it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I feel
Right.
like at such a young age too that it's so crucial, especially in your high school, college years. I feel like if you are able to learn that and adapt to that mindset, it would change a lot of people's lives.
Are we mature enough to understand some of those things, or do we have to
That's
go
true.
through some tough life
Yeah.
experiences to be like, hey, I should learn this and
Stuff.
apply
Yeah.
it more?
Well, I think it's also changed in the last 10 years. I think podcasting and some of the interesting people that are on those has helped expedite that. Like Jay Shetty.
Sure.
Definitely.
Would 15 years ago his book have been as successful as it is if he also wasn't a great communicator on
I do think
podcasting?
it would, just because I know everybody still struggles with some of those things. We just didn't talk about it. It's just not mainstream anymore.
Yeah.
It's not. We don't have to be always this tough outside graham cracker crust.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can be. Everybody's all this soft.
Nice little cream cheese.
Yeah. Clark, you're up, bro.
All right. How do you handle criticism in a constructive? How do you handle constructive criticism, and then how do you handle regular criticism? Just like somebody coming at you kind of unconstructively. Because there's a fine line, I feel. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it could feel like somebody's coming at you hot when in reality it's constructive.
Yeah.
So how do you decipher that?
You go first. I have a bad answer, but
I feel like it depends on who it's coming from.
1,000%. That's my answer.
I feel like I can read people pretty easily, and I can understand when people are
What's
saying
their
something.
intent?
Yeah, when they say something, and if they're saying something to be rude criticism, I'm just kind of okay,
I
thank
think-
you for your opinion.
I think sometimes we take it to heart.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know? People
Constructive criticism you would
But
take
I
to
don't
heart?
think sometimes it's always delivered as constructive.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's delivered as like, hey, it's a reflection on what kind of day that they're having that they're going to portray on you.
So is it your job to kind of pick through that and find?
It's always
like,
our job.
Yeah, right.
You know, because we can't take it personal, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
one of the 4 agreements.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's one of the hardest things to recognize sometimes too is that constructive criticism and criticism aren't the same.
No.
You know,
Right. But they're grouped together a little bit.
well they are.
You know, so it's kind of that's kind of why I felt like it was a decent question. You know what I mean? You
It's
gotta really-
super hard
you gotta
because I think
understand those layers.
I think sometimes your emotions are in there, you know, and your ego is there too.
For sure.
So
yeah.
sometimes you have to like empty your pockets and say like, "Hey, everybody, get rid of your egos. We're gonna say something that's gonna not be happy for you guys." Dan, how about you?
I do believe that. Take 2. All right. I do believe that there is a difference between criticism and constructive criticism. I believe constructive criticism comes from a place of, hey, let's try and make the situation better. I think criticism is just like, well, this sucks. Okay, well, thank you. You've added nothing to my life by just blurting that out, and
It's a reflection on them. too.
exactly like, and also you don't know what day you're walking into with some people. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true.
Let's take today for example. Like, let's say 2:00 in the afternoon, you're going out and you're doing something, and you run into someone else's entire day before you run into them. So all of a sudden, you may have had a great day training people, and you may have had like all the stuff, and then you run into someone whose day was like the snowball effect of all the negative. You're going to run into that. So it's like, how do you handle that? First off, that's an impossible task to some, but to others, you just have to roll with it and be like, okay, that's what you're experiencing right now. Cool. I understand it.
Tim Collins told me one of the best stories that I've ever learned and try to apply is that he was going to Saratoga to fill up water jugs. And a lady had like a bunch of water jugs and it looked like she was done. And he came over to start to fill it up. And she just got in his face, like, 2 inches away, screaming and yelling at him. And he said internally to himself, wow, what kind of day is she having for her to react like this? And I said, how did you retaliate? He goes, I didn't. He goes, because I had to take a step back to understand. So shout out to Tim for that lesson that you taught me a few months ago, because I think that's so true, is not to take it personal. Danny.
So let's have a fun one. Go-to music when you're on a long ride or a run, since we all do all that stuff. I'm interested in you two.
I feel like it
Do you wanna go
depends.
first? Yeah.
You go first.
I'm a podcast guy. I feel like that's a little psycho. I like Eminem, but I feel like I would rather listen to a podcast when I'm just draining my, if I'm just gonna go. Because
If you're driving or if you're running? 'Cause I feel like those are different.
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you say?
Long rides, like
Oh,
bike, because I
rides.
figured with
Oh.
like you cycling and everything.
Cycle. Oh yeah, no, it's a podcast. Yeah,
Okay.
Podcast.
I like to switch it up. Sometimes I have like a playlist with like rap, like
Let's go.
music, but then also two friends on SoundCloud. They have like, there are these two guys, they go around actually on tour too. It's like they take all of like the year's songs and like put it in a mashup. So it's like all of your favorite songs and it's just like a remix of them kind of
Oh,
all put
cool.
together. It's an hour or so long. So just put it on and go for an hour.
Nice.
Nice. I know. Yeah, we're Eminem. Like,
I just think it depends on my mood too. Sometimes I think if I want to go for a slower run, I'll listen to something slower.
Maybe like Celine Dion.
No, I listen to that in the back. I could go like Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber, like love songs type thing where
There you
I'm
go.
singing too.
Baby.
Yeah, not when he was a baby, but more newer when he actually has bass to his voice.
Okay. When he hit puberty.
Yeah, he's still looking for it. If you were gonna have a movie written about you, who would play your role? Let's go, Clark. You're up.
Like a real actor.
No, like a fake one.
Well, I don't-
A fake actor that everybody knows.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
You got to come back to me. I got to figure somebody out.
Dan.
I want Tom Hardy.
Okay.
He's a great actor. He always knocks it out of the park.
Garden of Eden.
Anna Kendrick.
Okay. Yeah, I had a huge crush on her back in the day.
I don't know why she's just the one I thought of.
Yeah. Why?
Well, I love her movies like Pitch Perfect, Trolls.
I'm a big Pitch Perfect guy
Oh my
too
God, it's
as well.
so good.
Yeah.
I cried during the second one. That's
I
a fun
definitely
fact.
I definitely didn't. The Fat Amy's the best.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, Clark.
I think Will Ferrell. I think is what I. I think that's what I'm gonna go for.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's he's a very good actor, so I think he could do whatever with me.
Yeah. I would go either.
Context is key. Yeah, whoops.
It's funny that he smiles like the serial killer. Like,
Okay, whoops.
Yeah.
Just don't check my basement.
it's all right. Body stacked vertically.
Yeah,
He's organized.
yeah.
I would go
Alphabetical.
Mark Wahlberg or Jason Statham. Jason Statham because he's got the bald head, but I
Yeah.
think Mark Wahlberg, well versed, can do anything. Who's up?
Oh, me.
Eden, let's go. She's
Let me
not
see.
even ready.
Sorry.
Fuck. Take your time. We're just live.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Well, okay. So I feel like in our profession there's a lot of change, like with our lives, with our clients' lives, everything. So how do you deal with change? Like I feel like a lot of people are scared of change, so they don't necessarily want to change. But I feel like I said, people come in here to change, not just physically but also mentally. So how do you deal with it yourself, or how would you help someone deal with it? If that makes sense.
I like his response to just breathe and stay present, because I think we can so get wrapped up into past, future. I actually crave change. So like even like in my own house, like I'll go to Home Goods like once a week, just because I have to add something so it doesn't always look the same. This office, I have to add something so I can't come in here and it looks the same all the time. So it's weird for me that I don't think I need consistency, but I think I crave growth. I think that's it for me. So obsessively, I want everybody else to experience that, but I think I struggle with it because I want it more at an expedited pace rather than letting them happen on their own way. So that's one of my biggest struggles.
Nice. I am the opposite. So I don't
They
like.
work great together.
I like change in the sense that I like it after it already happens. So, like, for example, I made the leap to be here full time. I really like that, but it was a very difficult kind of first couple of days just getting my schedule together. You know what I mean? Like, feeling hectic and not feeling super comfortable with, like, the new change. But obviously now I'm super into it.
Sure.
So I think that I like change after it happens. I'm adverse to it while it's happening because I like feeling comfortable. But obviously comfortable leads to complacency. And obviously, like you're saying, complacency means zero growth.
Yeah.
And I like growth. So it's kind of, my words kind of go against what my actions are a little bit in that sense. But eventually I'll come around to stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I'm good with change. I do struggle with it at times. Ryan mentioned the past future context of the things, in that when change happens, I will replay like, what could I have done different in this change and future and everything else. And it's once I'm a little bit of what Clark said too. Once the change happens and I've adapted to it, awesome. But my problem is like replaying stuff. Like how could I have changed it so it was different, almost like branching off and what ifs. And I think that's probably the biggest struggle that I have, honestly.
Okay.
Who's up?
Clark.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's shooting off the hip.
Oh, no, I thought, well, you took my motivation one, so then I had to shoot off the hip a little bit. Oh, no, not blaming. But that was a shoot off the hip one. This one was planned, and it's to out you a tiny bit. How do we drink our coffee?
Oh.
Half and half. I like any flavored coffee because I don't like the taste of coffee, and I like almond creamer in it.
How much, though? How much almond creamer?
Fill the cup.
Half and half. It's more creamer than coffee.
Me?
I don't know how people drink it black. You guys are tougher
drink it
than
black.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
they're
it.
tough.
I like hazelnut.
Yeah, I know.
Or the maple one the other day was pretty good, French toast. I'm not like a huge coffee drinker. I never really liked coffee up until college, and I was like forced to almost to like it. Almond milk creamer, definitely like the vanilla silk one. But I'm more of like, I like the Celsius's, but I try not to drink caffeine too much. So,
Yeah, me either.
but I'm starting to feel like I need it more.
I'm trying to get my heart to stop.
Funny.
We had this conversation the other day.
We did.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a coffee snob at times. If I'm going to take my Sunday morning and actually enjoy it, it's about a 30-minute process to make a cup of coffee. Because I do the French press, I make sure I measure everything out, I do temperature of the water, like I'm pretty psychotic about it. But I also will just go and get Stewart's coffee, Stewart's coffee, and it's just like a 1-2 pour of whatever creamer looks good, usually almond or Planet Oat. I like that stuff.
Cool.
Clark drinks his black with Ben's MCT oil in there.
Ben's? Oh, I should recommend it to Ben. I took his hair product. He can take my oil.
Yeah.
One and the same, honestly.
Dan,
I won't go there.
Dan, you're up.
Okay, this one because it's like the holiday season. I kind of thought about this one first. Tell me one Christmas gift or holiday gift that you received, and why is it most memorable to you?
Does it have to be a holiday gift, or can it be a gift?
We'll go with gift.
Okay.
You go.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a sad gift, but not really. So my grandfather for a long time lived with us, and that was a big toll on my family. He lived with us for 4 years. He had dementia, Parkinson's, all of that stuff. So we were his primary caretakers for a while. But after he had passed away, he left us some stuff, and my family was actually able to take a trip to Hawaii. Which was like one of the most like life-changing experiences and trips I've been on. It was really nice just reconnect with my family. There was one day where we went on this trip called the Road to Hana. It's in Maui, and you just go on like the outer part of Maui. You don't have cell service the whole entire day, so everyone is unplugged. And that was probably one of the top 3 days of my entire life because I wasn't worrying about, no one was worrying about their phones, and we were all just present in the moment. We were able to experience some really cool things. So I'm very thankful for that trip because I feel like it was one of the best life experiences I've had so far. So.
Nice.
I can't follow that up.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I can. Pajamas. So my girlfriend and I get each other pajamas each year, and I wouldn't say that I don't like things. Things aren't necessarily my thing. But the pajamas are like sentimental because when you wear them, it's just like, I don't know. They're sentimental, so I like them. They're probably my best gift.
How did that follow?
Oh, I was joking.
Oh.
Did not follow. If you couldn't tell,
okay.
You couldn't tell, did not follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was good. So, nothing like that. But actually, last year, someone very close to me got me a coffee mug. It was a clear coffee mug, but it's got all of the streets of Glens Falls, and it's got the coordinates, the latitude, longitude for Glens Falls. And then they got me a matching wine glass, which had all of the roads of downtown Saratoga and like all of the intersections and everything. And the reason why is they said they always wanted me to feel at home wherever I was. And to them, my home was Saratoga. Like they always said I had a home with them. And then my home is Glens Falls. So, and like all the streets that I'd run doing training, I thought it was like very, very special.
That's cool.
Very cool.
I don't know. I've been pondering this for a while. I grew up with a lot of privilege growing up, so I feel like things were always given, and my parents did an awesome job of whatever we wanted. If there was like an idea of like a pair of shoes, they got it for us. So like those type of things, I think as you grow up, you're like, wow, that's really great. But I think one of the best gifts is something that I gave myself. And it was my tree this year because I think last year when I moved right after the Christmas party, December 17th. Like I didn't have time because I moved into a brand new house, whatever, and I didn't have a tree. So I think for me, having a tree in my house before Thanksgiving, I think I rushed to do it to give me that sense of like holiday thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of makes me look forward to going home and plugging in the lights and just being there. And spending that time with me and like my two friends that have yet to piss on it, which is like, hey, Tito and Stilly, if you guys are listening, I know I took away your cell phones because of your activity last night, but thank you guys for not peeing on the tree yet. Okay, so it's 7:22. We got a chop. Let's go rapid.
Last question, you.
No, let's go rapid fire. We can go a couple more.
Okay.
What's one thing that keeps you guys up at night? Let's go.
Literally or physically? My dog for one. My thoughts for another.
Let's go with your thoughts. What do you think of? Quick.
I mean, not so much anymore, but I feel like at night I just like replay the day in my head, or I'm like looking forward for the next day, and I'm like, what am I going to do tomorrow that's going to make it great? So
Yeah.
like last night I was thinking, what questions? So
Yeah.
I feel like my best thoughts are at night sometimes.
Good, because that's when you're still.
Yeah.
I have zero thoughts at night.
Good.
It's pretty nice. I used to overthink everything. I used to never sleep and all that stuff. But now with breathwork and stuff, I literally just go blank, and I love it. It's one of the best unplugs.
Wow. Good for you.
Are you sure you're not a serial killer?
I'm not sure. No.
Okay, good.
But that's the response my lawyer told me to give. So I'm not exactly. I'm not going to give you the real answer.
I need their number.
Yeah.
Okay, keep me up at night. Shit, go deep since we're ending it like this.
We're not ending it.
Well,
We got
yeah.
time.
Fear of being alone and fear of not being good enough. That's what keeps me up at night.
Mine is I think about my dogs and them dying.
That's
Oh,
morbid.
that's
But no, I understand that because
Yeah.
I feel like you're their whole life. They're only just like a little part of yours.
Yeah, so like one of the questions I was going to ask is like, what's one superpower, one common rule we could all have that no matter what you had to live by? And mine was going to be, I just took this question away from you. I'm not even going to ask it. But if we could outlive our pets.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Dogs live forever.
Yeah. Just because I think it's the only unconditional love you'll ever feel in your life.
I agree.
Cats are different, so I can't use them. If you guys are cat people, then
No.
Yeah, my cat loves me a lot, like almost too much. Like she gets pretty aggressive with her love.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mine too. Not cats. I'm just talking.
What are you talking about?
Favorite TV show?
I don't. Sports Center. Good, easy.
TV show?
Yeah.
House.
Oh, great show!
Yeah, that is-
Reruns the house. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Hell yeah. It's on Peacock.
Parks and Rec.
Nice.
Okay, you're up. Quick.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
What is your favorite dessert? Not how you identify. I didn't. That one was off the head.
Skip. Go.
Okay. Least favorite exercise.
Running.
I'll be lunges for sure.
Okay.
Hamstring curls.
Sled pushes.
Sliders.
Hey, let's tell a story real quick because it's 7:25. We have this new thing that if you're late to a meeting, the other people have to pay for it. So Casey, if you're listening,
Shout
Casey
out.
was
No shout out. No shout out.
Casey was literally like
120 seconds.
yeah, late to a meeting. It was like 2:32. We had a meeting.
Damn red lights.
So I made these three push the sled down and back 3 times because she was late and she had to route them on. So yeah, the lesson is don't be late. Dan, you got one? You already did it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I got one. What's one thing that your friends would be surprised to know about you?
I love rom-coms. I love romantic comedies.
Do you also love Lamp?
I do love Lamp. Gerard Butler, Matthew McConaughey, Keanu Reeves, any one of those guys in one of those rom-coms. I love them.
Okay, Clark, you're up.
That I actually like helping people. Like actually. Like I say that I do, but I don't know if my friends believe me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I'm not as dumb as they think. I feel like, well, I feel like for a long time I was like the comic relief friend, and they were all kind of like, "Oh, are you blonde?" Like, whatever. I kind of like not played dumb, but like I wanted to make people laugh, and that's made me feel good. So I kind of played dumb a little bit. But I'm not actually that dumb. I'm pretty smart, so don't knock me. It's okay.
one.
They actually don't, but
What about you?
yeah.
That I have it all figured out, or that I'm okay. Yeah, I think that's the one thing. I think we all kind of like struggle with, whatever telling the story that things are okay when they're not, but that's the graham cracker crust that you put out there for everybody.
Cheesecake's not actually my favorite dessert. It's ice cream too, by the way.
Okay.
So.
With a little bit of sass too. She goes,
Apparently.
But you were like, everyone picked their favorite dessert. I do
she's
like cheesecake,
she's like,
but
it's ice cream.
it is.
Last question. What are we going to ask? What's the one thing that you want people to know about you that if they're on the outside looking in, this is the last one, last bullet. So it's like an intro to you and you, because everybody knows Dan and I. What's the one thing that you want people to understand about you? Dan, you go first.
I hide my emotions very well at times under a very hard exterior. But the truth is that, like, you know, I'm a very emotional person, and I can sometimes take things way too hard, way too quickly. And I think that people think I'm emotionless at times, and that can be quite the opposite.
I appreciate your vulnerability. I also appreciate your hair product.
Yes.
By the way.
Thank you. I'll give you the link.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just on Amazon. I got it the next day.
Oh,
Yeah,
hot demand.
hot demand. Also Prime. Prime shipping. Let's see. What was the question again?
What's
How was it
one
phrased?
thing that you want people to know about you that they might
Yeah.
not already know?
So as a trainer, I think people should know that I treat your success as my success. And it's one of those things where if somebody just has even the little wins, I try to blow those up as big wins because I think that people don't recognize the little wins very often. And I think that if you're going to be training with me or working with me or anything like that, we're 100% a team. It's not like I'm the trainer and I'm superior to you. I want to team up with you to make you get your goals. So.
I would like to say that I put others before myself, and actually a DBC quote is authentically selfish, inversely selfless. So I feel like that I can relate a lot to. Like I am learning to be authentically selfish in good ways, but I'm selfless in the ways that like I'm gonna put people before me because I want to see them succeed rather than. I mean, I want to see myself succeed too, but I like seeing them succeed more.
I think that's a good one. It's like, you know, you don't give a shit what people think about you.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the thoughts that you think about when you go to bed is like, what does this person say? What does this person think? What do they do? But like, you're good. Like, just turn it off. I think that's one thing I want people to know about me is I care way too much about them more than myself. And I think as a whole, if you have to be in this profession where you're helping people, I think that sometimes becomes a depletion where like you're dumping this cup into everybody else's bucket. So I think the hard thing that we struggle with in our profession is filling our own bucket. So if you guys could actually learn that faster, then I think you won't have to deal with that struggle going forward. But Dan, close the show.
All
7:29. We all got to train.
Oh, yeah. All right. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the Gym 518.
Share the shit out of this.
Absolutely. Also, cool thing, 25 Days of Fitness. Watch for this weekend's videos. You got some awesome stuff coming. Thank you for constantly sharing and posting.
Also, quick one.
Yes.
Big Brothers Big Sisters, we're doing a toy drive that goes to any local kids that are here that in the holiday season they need toys or things that we said would be memorable so that they can open up something on Christmas and have those memories. So we have a big box here. So donate any toys, any type of things that you think kids would enjoy.
Yep, stop on by. It's right at the front desk. Okay, for Clark, Eden, and Ryan, this is Dan. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and a great holiday weekend as well. Peace out.
See ya.